This is a fight I see quite often in the comment section. Superboy Prime versus World War Hulk. Superboy Prime was a character who was introduced initially during the first Crisis in one of the DC Showcase books. Still have that book for quick reference. It's somewhere in my stack of custom binds. So he was a character who was from Earth Prime. Prime being our universe. He really didn't do a tremendous amount in that storyline. He was brought back in Infinite Crisis. During Infinite Crisis, he was brought back essentially as a villain. So he is a character with pre-Crisis abilities. Oh, I should probably mention too, then after he pretty much tore his way through the majority of the DC universe and quite a few Green Lanterns, he was flown through a sun, a red sun, a kryptonite asteroid field, slammed onto Mogo, and then imprisoned after having a vicious beatdown by 2 Supermen and the Green Lantern Corps, and then they stuffed him inside essentially a dwarf Sun Eater. Essentially it was a red sun. He was later broken up for the Sinestro Corps War. At the end of the Sinestro Corps War, a Guardian sacrificed himself to push him outside of the reality, which put him into the New 52. New 52 became Superman Prime. Superman Prime fought his way through a lot of other villains, and eventually ended up making his way. Then he made his way to the future. At the end of the future, he was brought back to Earth. While he was on Earth, he made comments on the DC forums, back when they had forums. And he was later brought back for 2 Blackest Night issues. That is pretty much that is his entire run in comics. World War Hulk, of course, is the storyline that happened after Hulk kind of went on a rampage and then shoots him off into space. He spends a tremendous amount of time in space, honing his skills, becoming an amazing Hulk, and then coming back and pretty much running roughshod on the majority of the Marvel characters, especially the ones tied to the Illuminati. I have to say, the World War Hulk story, most of it is just Hulk whooping the crap out of everybody. Whether it's breaking the arms of Colossus, defeating Doctor Strange, defeating Iron Man, defeating who was later revealed to be a Skrull imposter of Black Bolt, and finally taking the measure of Sentry, before it was revealed that everything that propagated his idea of attacking Earth was set up by somebody else. The only thing I really hate about this story is they do make a line that Hulk never hurt anybody. So when Hulk was throwing tanks, throwing missiles into helicopters, everyone, Hulk would throw a tank and the people would lance his way, they would survive, which I thought was absolute and complete and utter BS. It still is to this day. On the flip side, Superboy Prime was strong to the point that he was punching the walls of reality, which is why people like Jason Todd came back. A character that people actually dialed a 1-800 number to kill. So I've got the person who punched the walls of reality, which allowed for random retcons, versus the person who, even though he was throwing tanks at planes, nobody died. And as always, I do these fights through a 9 set of criteria: intelligence, fighting ability, strength, speed, durability, invulnerability, energy rejection, versatility, and X factor. If it's a 4-5, the person with 5 more than likely would win. If it's a 6-3, the person with 6 has a greater than average, has a much better chance of defeating the person with 3. So we'll get right into this. Intelligence. Superboy Prime was written essentially as the angry 10 to 13 year old, or in some cases even middle-aged person, who is on the internet who rages against everything. Hulk crafted this very, very perfect plan that had to do with eliminating all of his threats. Hulk, cold calculating. Fighting ability. This time World War Hulk had a tremendous amount of gladiatorial experience. Fantastic fighter. Strength. Superboy Prime was pushing planets. He's pre-crisis strength. He's punching the walls of reality and cracking them. Beyond having Kryptonian abilities, he was also given some of the abilities that Alexander Luthor had. Alexander Luthor being born on Earth 3 pre-crisis. He ended up having antimatter and regular matter attributes. Speed. Yeah, again, you're looking at someone who's pre-crisis. Pre-crisis speed, he left Earth and was trying to make his way to shatter the planet Oa to restart the Big Bang. And he got there really quickly. Durability. As long as Superboy Prime is near a yellow sun, he has near limitless power. He also has the ability to absorb other forms of radiation and other forms of energy. He's absorbed quantum energy, he's absorbed Owen energy. He could potentially also absorb a certain person's gamma radiation, potentially. And vulnerability. Again, this is a pre-crisis level character. During Infinite Crisis, he took a punch from Black Adam. And he went, that tickles. When it came to the point they needed to put him down before the sun came up again in Sinestro Corps, this one shot, they had the JSA, the JLA. They had the Teen Titans. They brought everybody. And I do mean everybody. They pretty much brought every single living person on the DC universe, except some of the magical characters, to face off against him. So they brought everybody. Green Lanterns, Superboy, Superman, Supergirl, Power Girl. They brought an absolute army of individuals to beat him into submission before that sun came up, knowing that if the sun comes up, that's it. He is way too powerful. Energy projection. Beyond having the heat vision and the frost breath, this is pre-crisis heat vision, pre-crisis freeze breath. You know, he was freezing people solid in space. So he was able to inhale in the vacuum of space and exhale and freeze people in place. Versatility. Again, you're looking at someone who was the pre-crisis power set. I mean, that is a tremendous amount of power. He is a ridiculously impressive individual. Beyond raw energy output, the amount of versatility that he had when it came to the use of his powers is just ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. X Factor. This one's actually going to go to Hulk. Hulk can probably, Hulk's going to survive the first couple of attacks. He's probably going to get a couple of good shots on him. He could potentially get Superboy Prime to start kind of going through like a cry, sort of whiny moment. But he does not have the power to defeat somebody like Superboy Prime. Unless, of course, Hulk has the ability to create a red sun. Not red solar radiation, because that didn't affect him at all. He has to create a red sun. And then push Superboy Prime into the red sun, and then fight him. And World War Hulk, very strong. I don't think he's going to survive fighting somebody in the middle of a sun. Or getting close to a sun to push somebody into it. Draw them with their powers to finally defeat them. Superboy Prime is pretty much going to curb stomp World War Hulk.